Now on YouTube. This is our first broadcast for us, so you know.
Many more to come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. So we're going to be doing a beautiful show for everybody. We have a lot of cool things happening that are working for us in our benefit. Let me talk about our special guest first off. Ike. He's been an amazing addition to our family as, first off, Jefro's Kush Cream, JKC International LLC. We bring his talents, his CTC, his background, and his retired football, NFL pro football player, right?
That's right.
And here we are, we're sitting together right now. We're talking about some unique things. He's highly involved in the CTC program, is that correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that people don't realize, and that's a big part of my story. Jefro was to get involved with something that could really help our retired players.
Okay.
Being a professional football player, a lot of people now are starting to hear about the head trauma, brain injury that's going on in the league. We found some phenomenal things that are working right now with CBD as far as being able to with the CB1 receptors being able to protect a lot of the neurons, and that's what we're looking for, something that can buffer that and protect that a little bit more. So when you start talking about CTE being an advocate in that arena, I'm right there. And then part two, obviously being in the CBD world now, wanted to really be a part of something different. Everybody and their brother and their aunt and their uncle seems to have a CBD out there. It had to be something that would be different. And I had a few companies come at me and wanted me to represent or a brand ambassador for them, and I didn't see anything different. And then I met you, I saw you, and you told me about this new CBD, and at that point, phenomenal things have been happening.
Well, that's good. I think that's amazing to find the synergy that we have found together, and how I think the synergy is important for everybody, because we're finding that a lot of things happen in life for a reason. Actually, everything happens for a reason.
They sure do.
and so what I'm thinking is that just the way as I met Charlie Barker and our CFO Al Harris, now here we are with our senior sales director, Big Ike King Cola, Ike Griffin III, and we're very honored to have you a part of as a special guest here, and also as one of our proud members and a family member. Love you. I'm glad to have you aboard with us, and I think we got tremendous things to go. And do you want to hit up on a few things that you brought to the table for us so far since we've been together? And I can touch on a few things as well that you're bringing to our industry for CBD to start interjecting this into other places right now. Can you give me an idea of places you're thinking that you're working with and you're actually working with today?
Yeah, pardon me. One thing that I found is that with a product like CBD, one of the big important things that we needed to make sure that we were walking that line was being legal, being able to travel into 50 states or cross state lines. So we really had to make sure we were in position to do that first and foremost. Due to the 2014 Farm Bill Act, we were in a good position. Okay. As long as we're utilizing hemp oil and we're staying under that 0.03 amount of THC, we're in a good position. And we actually have no THC. So we're 100% hemp oil when it comes to our tinctures, which makes us special, makes us legal, and more importantly, being all organic, coming from an organic farm, no pesticides, putting us in a very special position. Now, what we want to do, and at least some of the things in the avenues that I wanted to explore and get our product into because it's so special, obviously would be the athletic front. Okay. Our senior citizens are in tremendous need, and when I say that, I'm working with our retired athletes right now and finding some tremendous help, tremendous things happening. When you start talking about on the college side, we've got some things happening, because here's the beauty.
Go ahead with the beauty.
Well, there's going to be something that's happening in the next, I would say, and the World Athletic Association has already allowed for CBD to enter into its world.
I understand.
The other thing that's nice is that now that CBD is starting to make some of these inroads, and since it doesn't have the psychoactive ability like a THC, we're now right on the cusp of potentially getting in the NFL.
Okay.
So when you start looking at those directions and how close we are, those are a lot of the areas that we're working with. We're working with chiropractors. We have a distributorship that we've started that we can open up avenues to just about anyone and everyone now.
Wow, that's amazing. Who is this company that we have partnered with?
Well, CBD Worldwide Distributors is the company that we are involved with. One thing that I can say is that it's a phenomenal ownership opportunity where you can become your own distributor. You can be that person. You can now have a chance to get into this cannabis industry and be a part of one of the fastest growing segments in the industry, which is hemp oil. Now you can come in and be an owner, and here's the beauty. You're working with an exclusive product. You'll have that licensing right to get it out there and promote, market, sell Jefro Kush Cream, which has the wonderful, what we like to call hemp oil, and our Cooper's Copper.
Amen.
And we'll get into that in just a bit. That's an exclusivity that no other CBD company has, and you'll have it. So we're trying to open up an opportunity to everyone. You don't need $5 million to be a part of what we're doing. You just need to have a hunger, a small budget to want to get involved so you can get product. Other than that, you're in the game.
Well, that sounds amazing. I'm surely excited to have, gosh, man, Eric and Jim involved with Ike. You're there, you're powerhouse. You guys are a phenomenal team that has brought the brains. You've put 2 months into this about now.
Already.
And we're ready to go. And we're fine-tuning right now. And we're launching this out. And let's talk about why we're launching this out.
Yeah.
And the reason. You know, one big thing of why people want to give a chance with CBD is because they're starting to see this different ability it's doing with seizures and these children and people like me that have them. We all have them, and if you happen to have a seizure, if I had that at the time, I wouldn't have went through what I went through. I mean, it was horrible. Waking up just clueless and not know what's happening. I've seen it happen to other people. It's very sad. We watch it on videos all the time. And so now this reality is starting to sink into people that this is really starting to do something special. So we want to do something special in a special way. We want to bring quality, purity. We want to have organic certificates. We want to make sure that we had a USDA certified farm. Okay? And we want to make sure we took the proper steps. Do you think that's valuable in our industry today?
Well, here's a couple things I'll bring up about our industry that a lot of people may not recognize. And pardon me, I'm just loading up a couple things so that we're getting the most and getting this information out to as many folks as we can. It's too important. That's why we're doing it. So when you start talking about the importance of what we do and certification, having the right testing done in this industry, and I just got back from California where they just did a huge show, one of the if not the biggest show in California, called the Tommy Chunk Blazers Cup. Now, what I found is that states right now are not locking down, and Arizona being one of them, not locking down on testing or making sure that information is now present. Matter of fact, one of the big dispensaries here in the Phoenix area has just been put on alert for not having tested product and putting it out there to patients. Wow. So when it comes back to what we do, one of the biggest problems in the CBD industry has been scams. Have been people have been putting things in bottles and creams, labeling them as something else, and it's not actual nor factual.
Yeah, it's making an issue. We've seen it. We've gone through it.
Yeah,
I think the best way to get through it is to understand where you have an issue, abide by the rules, fix your mistakes, accept them, and go to the next step if you made that mistake. So, and be honest about it so you can grow from it and learn. And then we push that every day about that positive energy we talk about all the time.
Positive energy is key, but here's the other thing too, Jefro, and just for those tuning in, now live on the Living the High Life Facebook page. I want to say thank you. Just another pickup of what we did this weekend. Now we're moving our direction into more of a CBD realm in what we do. Let's do this. Couple things, because with so many people starting to tune in this weekend, let me tell you about a couple things that I ran into that I know some of the people out there are concerned with. More importantly, what our product will do, and we have a couple of tests that will show you why we're so different. And people are calling right now to get our product. Get that man on the phone.
This is
the guy.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Mr. Charlie Barker.
Hey, what time are you doing your thing on Copper?
See?
Right now.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need you. We need you, Charlie.
Yeah, we're live right now.
We're live. That gentleman that just tuned in is Charlie Barker. He is the inventor, the scientist, the mind, the brain. He's the Oz, the man behind the curtain who was able to be something and do something so special. We want to get him on the air with you so we can give you an understanding of what we're really trying to do here with our copper.
So what we're finding out right now, Charlie, is that we're having a stigma issue, and we talked about this earlier, if you recall. And do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions, if you don't mind?
No, I don't mind.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I love you, buddy, because you're cool as hell, and you're really true to heart, and it's amazing to have you as a friend and understand what your drive is and your mission is to get everybody as much as possible for Copper 1, proper copper. And what we're having is a stigma issue between Copper 2 and Copper 1, and we want to know, what do you think about the differences between the two?
Well, let's do this first.
Yeah.
A lot of my people out there, they could think we're talking to anybody and anybody. This is Mr. Charlie Barker. Charlie, if you don't mind, just a quick elevator of who you are and what part of this whole process, what you mean to it.
Okay, again, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to keep this in a nutshell just because where I am, what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely.
You guys are doing a live thing, but
sorry about
my
that.
name is Charlie Barker. I'm the patent holder of the world's first bioavailable copper. I cleared with the no objection letter through the FDA. It was quite a process. We did the human studies, the toxicology. We did all the work. And just keep in mind, only 3 out of 10 nutraceuticals get through the FDA, and we did. We're a small private company, and we did this because our bodies need copper. And the whole stigma on copper. Well, the thing is, everybody's right. They're right about copper. It's bad for you because the copper they're giving us belongs in the dirt, and they shouldn't be giving us dirt copper, because what happens is when the copper's in the dirt, the plants fix it. They take that copper and they fix it. And we can get technical. We can talk about what they do. And what actually they do is they reduce it. They give it back 1 electron. And so when it's in the correct oxidative state, it has the ability to cross cell membrane, which is called CTR1, which is the only way you can get copper into a eukaryotic cell.
Hey, keep it simple though.
But what happens when you take the copper from the dirt, like they're talking about? So just know most people are right until now, because this is the world's first copper ever. And we do the copper what plants do to copper, and it's really that complicated and that simple. And we're the first and we're the only people in the world to understand that plants fix copper and to do to the copper what plants do to copper.
Charlie, let me ask you a question. And folks that are tuned in out there, we've got the great Charlie Barker, Synergy on the line, founder, inventor of the technique. It's a proprietary technique. No one else can make it. Charlie, here's one big issue. You got people out there with diabetes. You've got people out there with all kind of issues. Here's what I ran into California, where people, it seemed when you said the word copper, because of the stigmatism that's out there already, I almost got arms crossed and I found myself defending my product or explaining our product more than explaining the benefits. I think people just have this eerie feeling when they hear the word copper now because of the toxicity, things like that. Could you explain what the main difference is in what we do and what you've created and invented, so that people have an understanding out there of what separates us from these other guys out there, more importantly, this other copper too, that they're forcing down Americans' throats?
Well,
first of all, the copper that they're putting in all the nutraceuticals, processed food, in our drinking water, it costs $25 a kilo, and it comes from the dirt. There's no process done. It comes from the dirt. I don't care what they say they chelate it with. It's a fully oxidized, it's no different than when a penny turns green. It'd be like licking a green penny, licking the oxidization. We have the same problem with iron. It's like licking a rusted iron bumper. So you don't want something from dirt. If it was true that we could eat the copper that they're giving us in the dirt, there would be no starvation because we could all simply go eat dirt.
Wow.
It's not true. And so that's what you ran into. What you have to understand is you have to agree with these people because they're right, but they have to understand also they're right till now. And this is the only copper, and what we do to the copper is what the plant does. And see, what happens is when, so what it is that copper is aqueous, meaning it can catch to a water ligand, meaning that when it draws into the root, it can be like a straw, like with water, like a sponge. Once it enters the root, what happens is the plant gives it back one electron. That's called the reduction. When you reduce something, it gets back an electron. It goes from copper 2 to copper 1. Now, we're the only copper 1 in the world because we figured out how to stabilize it. You have to understand what we figured out. So for an analogy, imagine when you cut an apple open and it turns brown, right?
Right.
How do you stop the apple from turning brown? Well, if you put saran wrap on it, it would make it stop because you protected it. So that's basically the same thing as chelating a mineral when you put saran wrap on it. So what we did was we get the copper in the correct oxidative state, and then we connect it to niacin to hold it in its proper oxidative state. And what we've actually done is we make micron crystalline, and by making these tiny little healing crystals, it's amazing that it's air stable and it's completely bioavailable. And it's very interesting. Just knowing this debate, what I've ran into is a lot of doctors I run into screaming at the top of their heads, everybody's copper toxic.
Yes.
Some doctors are screaming.
That's what I'm running into, Charlie Barker. That's what I'm running into.
But they're right. But they're both right. We're all starving for copper, and we're copper toxic at the same
Copperitis.
time. Because what happens is when you eat the copper that they're giving us right now, it passively transports the digestive membrane, and it builds and accumulates in our brain and liver, and it doesn't belong in there. And this is why it's so important that you take bioavailable copper, because you fight copper with copper, because our bodies need copper. There's so many things that need copper. So the truth is, both set of doctors are correct. We are toxic with the copper that belongs in the dirt, and we're starving for the copper from the plants. And the reason we're starving for the copper from the plants is over 100 years ago, this is the root problem right here. We steered away from using animal droppings and manure in our fertilizer. We went to large agriculture, so the minerals aren't being replenished to the soil. So we stopped putting the minerals in the soil so our food doesn't have it.
Charlie, one thing that I want to share, and I want you to put out here to our listening audience and our viewership, right now, together with Jefro, Kush, Mito Synergy, and what we've come together as one hell of a team, can you explain a couple nice benefits of having the CBD, the Jefro Kush CBD cream, because we've been right there when we've all tested it, and then we add the copper 1 to it, we start talking about cell and membrane recuperation. We start seeing things that people have never seen before. We start talking about mitochondria and ATP. Can you start letting the people out there know why this is so important, not only for pain and healing, from an inflammation standpoint, getting rid of lactic acid, but let's say I'm a track runner and I'm in between races. This sounds like the perfect cream or rub I need to put on me, because now I've had something that's going to not only draw out the lactic acid, but now it's adding those energy, that ATP, the mitochondria. It's now getting into a recuperative recovery state. Talk to them, Charlie, about the benefits. I've seen what it's done to athletes. I've seen what it's done to people who can't walk. I've seen miraculous things with people who've had neck fusions who now can turn their neck.
Side to side.
Tell them why, Charlie, with CBD, Jefro Kush CBD cream, and your special Copper 1, what have we been able to do?
So the connection to CBD is carboxylate, and that means it's an oxygen donor. And so, well, I like to use this analogy about the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the same as the cylinder of the car. And the cylinder of the car is where we convert where we actually convert the food we eat to energy. Okay, it breaks down into sugar, and at some point, finally it goes through all these processes, but it ends up in the mitochondria. And there's three things you need in the cylinder of a car for a car to work perfect. Okay, you need oxygen, you need fuel, and you need a spark. Okay, as long as you got all three of those things, you get horsepower. And if one of those three things are missing, you're gonna get sludge out of your exhaust. Well, that's the same as the mitochondria. You need all three of those things, and if one of those things are missing, you get lactic acid. And as long as you have all three of those things, now you get ATP, the source of life. And so the copper niacin that we're talking about, the technical name is cuprous nicotinic acid, or copper 1 niacin. Well, that provides the nutrition and the electron. Now all we're missing is the oxygen. And the beautiful thing about the cannabinoids, and especially Jefro's, is that they seem to be the best I've found so far, and which means that they are the most oxygen donating out there. So providing the skin, the cell, the body, the three things at a molecular level, the nutrition, the spark, and now the oxygen, the missing piece which I didn't have before. When you put it together, you have everything you need at a cellular level to make your body do what it's supposed to. And it's just that simple. And it's quite amazing. So it's really cool watching people go from a lactic acid state to back to an ATP state, and actually quite fast, and no one can believe it. They think that they're crazy. And I'm so sorry, I apologize. I have to go now.
I know. Hey, Charlie Barker, thank you very much. We'll bring you on. We'll do a whole show with you, my friend.
We'll talk to you later, buddy.
We should do that.
Say hi to the fam.
Okay. Right, God bless. Bye-bye.
Look.
That was amazing.
It was amazing. I don't even know if you folks know what just happened. No one else in the world can ever make what that man has made for this country.
Whoa.
The reason he got off the phone so quick,
he's in Colorado. Yeah,
he's in Colorado.
He's on a special trip.
And he's on a special trip. And believe me, if people know where he is or they track him, he is not a gentleman that Big Pharma or the government wants to see walking around. If you don't know, over the past 10 years, there have been many, let's just call them scientists, people for the cause, that are no longer with us. Charlie Barker is on that list. This man is on that list. I'm on that list. So everything we do, we try to do in a way that it is protective for all of us.
All right. Well, let's. Now that we got off with Charlie, got me all excited.
Wow.
Copper. I mean, dude, come on.
Damn, dude. Who knew?
If I had one of those now, I'm
freaking knew.
Well, check it out. Let's show some people what's going on with copper, and let's show them how we can do. Well, we'll show you an experiment on why cuprous is important.
Cuprous. Now, for those of you just tuning in and you locked in on the Living the Highlight page, I want to say thank you. This gentleman right here with the beard is not Santa Claus, I promise you. This is the man, the originator, the creator. So all we deal with right now as we put this thing together was the creator, the gentleman that made the new Copper 1, or the cuprous copper that no one else can make ever again in life, right?
That's correct.
The only thing they can make is Big Pharma can come up with a synthetic form.
Well, FDA will only approve a synthetic after, because they won't let them ever do that again.
So Charlie was the last one to get that.
Well, first
and last.
Was that 2 or 1?
Well, it's actually 1,
2,
but
1, 2.
No, I'll make it easy. Charlie is Alpha and Omega.
I think he is Alpha
and Omega. There'll never be another.
Well, let's talk about something. I'm a Wolverine, and
don't do that.
I'm sorry, bro.
Don't do that, bro.
You state.
Don't do that.
We got competition right
Man, I will yank that beard.
I will wrestle your ass.
And the beard.
I swear. If you had a beard, I'd yank it too.
See, the only reason I won't yank the beard,
because you don't have one?
See, Jefro's a veteran. He was trained to kill. He was trained to kill.
I'm freaking Marine up in this. And that's what we do. Weapons Company.
Veteran right here. Veteran right here. I
was with Weapons 29. Shout out to all my veteran buddies right now. If you guys are out there.
What's the sound you guys make?
So, we're double dogs, man. Leathernecks.
Double dogs, leathernecks.
We're strapped in. We're ready to go. We're ready to kick some ass.
That's why we get along, man. That's why we connected.
Well, also I'm from Flint, Michigan. I
Flint Rock, Flintstone, right here.
I graduated from Grand Blanc 1991. I was a big wrestler. I love wrestling. I wrestled with my Uncle Dave with the Demons when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I grew up in the sport. Now my kids are both doing it. Cameron and Keaton, I love you guys. They're both 16, 17, varsity over at Yonker High School. They're having a good time. They're learning. They're getting it down pat.
But why'd you get into this? What's your story?
Oh gosh, my story. Well, one, I have a tumor. And it's called hemangioma over the mass. My eye popped out and literally went out of my face, and it popped back in, and it was super fast, and I didn't know what happened, so I rushed to the VA. The VA did a MRI and a CAT scan. Excuse me. And when they did that, they found out that I had I was 27 by 19 by 7, I think, tumor. And it's
Behind the eye?
yeah, well, it's right on my it's kind of like in your, like straight back right here.
Yeah,
And so you have a cerebral plate on the top that's real thin. It's your thinnest part of your bone in your body.
Yeah.
And so if it hemorrhages up, it leaks brain fluid down, and I die instantaneously. So if it goes out, I can live. I might lose my eye if it goes again. So that's what I deal with now. And I just let it go. I don't worry about it, but I just move forward. And that's why I went on the journey.
What did they do? Put you on meds, pain? What did they try to do?
Well, the same
What did
thing.
they want to do?
I was already on buprofen and some other sleeping one that I was taking, and it wasn't working for me. I told her. She wanted to give me prescribe a narcotic.
Yeah.
Then I told her I didn't want a narcotic. Well, she said there's other stuff I could take. So I really don't like getting into it's ridiculous. So after this surgery had happened, they never told me for 3 months that I hemorrhaged for 55 minutes or 50. Or, I don't know. I don't remember. He said 45 minutes.
So what's that mean? Is there like a certain limit time that you?
I'm not really sure. I've never had a surgery in my whole life. I was literally laying, unconscious. They had already.
Damn.
And by the way, when they put that thing in my back,
that epidural?
The anesthesiologist got done, and then the doctor came out to me, and he started telling me that if the surgery, if they had to do emergency surgery, that they would have to remove the quarter, and he was like going over my face as I was on an air bubble at Scottsdale Health, and he was pushing me on the bed. And he's telling me he might have to cut my face off while I was under anesthesia.
Wow.
For the first time I've ever had surgery, disabled combat action veteran, Marine Corps, baby, pushing me in to go get surgery, and I passed out.
I'm out of this, son. I'm coming out of anesthesia, all that there. I'm out the door.
So I get out. I don't find out for 3 months that I had hemorrhage. They told me I had to have another surgery and to remove a quarter of my face off so they can properly do the detach my muscles and all that stuff and do what they have to do. So I really decided to go a natural way and start finding another way because I know people that are involved in this. And at the time I had a friend that, you know how they are. You think you have them, but at the time we had started researching. He had shot me a couple of different places to check out. And so I checked out, started researching more and more. He was digging too a little bit. And I really started getting in depth on it. I had really formulated an idea after, because at the time we were working together, I didn't know it was getting manipulated. So it's okay. So at the same time, I'm going through this. I had to think about the people that are there trying to pull you down, that lift you up and give you a positive vibe. So I decided that I wouldn't do it, and I would go search for something. So I drove 5,401 miles with my kids and their buddy during Christmas, and I drove all the way around. I hit 13 different states with them. I had a good time meeting a lot of people. Also, I got to see a lot of my family members, and it was a beautiful relief to go see them for once in a long time because I don't have a lot of time. I was super busy. And
now, are you on a clock? Are you on a body clock? Is there something you know that nobody else knows that on this watch through 13 states that if you don't find this cure that you may lose your sight?
Well, I do know for sure right now that I don't want it to happen. And I know that that by having the support with what we're doing and what we have come together with synergy and being honest and having integrity, being real, being the real person that you're supposed to be able to say something to you and say it every single time the same way without having to make up some BS behind it. And then now we can be real. Now we can focus on what we have to do.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's about. It's about, all right, I know where I'm at. Let's not whine about it.
Yeah.
Let's find a solution. I don't want problems. I always think outside the box. I want to find solutions to move us in a better direction. And I think that we can do that we team up to dream up. You know, again, it's all about us veterans sticking together. There's a very, very depressed side on PTSD, anxiety, stresses that drive me crazy. I consistently take every day. Our attention's right here. I take this is 1800. I take this every single day. I have to.
I do mine 3 times a day.
Well, I'm a little bit bigger than you, so you know I just take 2. So my buckle of 5, you know what I'm talking about. So you know, so I decided that we have to have support with the kids. The kids support me. I support them. I try to spend as much time as I can with them while I have time. Not to try to make it depressing, but if I go, I want to make sure that I spend every moment I could with my kids.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to try to really focus on that, and on top of that, focus on running an electrical company, running Jefro's Kush Cream with JKC International LC, building a distributor company, or not. You guys build a distributor company for us as a team, as a partnership.
Yeah.
For CBD worldwide distributors.
That's it.
Now all that managing and all that pressure and all the job timelines and deadlines and payroll and just the kids' school, wrestling practices, wrestling tournaments, and it's a life that you have to be able to be ready for and drive for. And you can't let this hold you back from that.
Folks,
that's weak.
Right now what you're hearing is not reality TV, it's a real life story. A lot of folks want to know, how did we get into this? What made us go in this direction? We all have a story. Everybody out there right now, I can tell you, you know somebody in pain, you're in pain. If you're over 30, 40, 50 years old, we all are experiencing something. Tonight is the beginning of a series. We want to do a series that you'll find on YouTube. We'll start doing them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Reason being, there's too much of an issue with people worried about the type of copper or the copper one that we use. You just heard from Charlie Barker, the inventor. Has nothing to do with the copper that we use. It's a different level. Also tonight, we wanted to even show you the difference between the copper 1 and the copper 2. What I want to do is we'll save that for our next show. Tonight, it was more of a get to know me. Who are we? Who is Jefro Kush Cream? Where did he come from? What's he about? Why are you on board? Why are you trying to get us to get on board? You met the man.
Yeah,
he's real. I mean,
it gets tough. You have to get past.
I mean, he tell the folks. See, a lot of people wonder, hey man, what's this label? What's Afro with a beard? You tell the folks what that means to you and why that's your logo.
Well, that was designed by a past somebody that was has a good mind that needs to be on the right path. Let's just say that. And then we redesigned it with somebody else because we wanted to put the passion between the Flint with the Afro, the glasses, because I always wear my shades, but it's also like the Hispanic side of love, the heritage, the Spanish heritage,
Cholo.
And then we got the beard for the rockers, the everything, the freedom, the peace, the love, the harmony.
Everybody is in this logo, is what you tell them.
That was the whole thought that I thought.
Whoever you are, you should be able to see a little piece of you in there.
It should be everybody. We were putting little Jewish turtle towels, little things on there, but we took them off. But we do have a design for that, which would be a good one if we could think of a good remedy for them, because they have a good deal there of CBD, they're really, really scientific, and
Israel is huge in it right now. Yes. Some of the best studies in the world are coming out of Israel for what we're doing and how we're making it happen. Folks, listen.
Hello?
Tonight is one of those times that we just wanted to bring you in our home.
Want me to call you back?
We wanted to introduce a little bit more of who we are. There's a lot more shows coming your way. You heard tonight from Charlie Barker.
Hold on.
Charlie Barker is one of the biggest.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we got another special guest that just came on board again.
We got another special guest. Listen.
Can you believe this?
2 times in one night.
Is this love, Charlie? I mean, are you really just playing? Are you toying with
this? Doesn't happen.
Is it Dr. Copper action going on right now? I think there's a little love connection that we got, like and I don't want to get there, but let's talk about something right now. Well, thank you for freeing your time up, man.
Charlie Barker's back.
We have a question for you. We were just on a little rant about some issues that we're seeing online right now as far as our CBD and well, actually the copper side of it.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure that we understood the copper 2 and the copper 1 difference, and how one has available electron and one does not when it doesn't have one to offer, and how it increases your ATP and your immune system, and how it changes from cupric and cuprous. And I wanted to show a demonstration, if able, because we set that up for tonight, but we didn't know you were going to call back now, and here we can almost actually do it right now. Couldn't we?
Yeah, I have a video link too on YouTube, and if you just type in my name and then my company name, you'll find it, and look at the 6-minute video. And it's a really good copper demonstration video. It's like 6 minutes and 16 seconds.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. It is. Yeah. Mitosynergy.com. MITOSYNERGY.com.
And then type my name with it, Charles Barker.
Charles Barker.
Barker, B-A-R-K-E-R. And if you put it all together, you'll find those.
Well, let me talk about this. I got to show some people right now what's going on. Right now,
show them Mitosynergy.
This is Mito Activator. Can you tell them about what this is right now, what it does?
Now, what's that going to do, Charlie? What's the activator going to do?
So the whole thing about copper is, there's so many things, and we could do a 3-month class on all the different organelles and biochemical reactions to copper. Now, let's talk about the most important one, and I think you just went right at it. You're talking about ATP. And, ATP, the currency of life, and it's so important in our bodies, and it's basically breaks down that it's made in 3 different factories. And the first factory is called glycolysis. But the main takeaway from the first factory is that it yields you 2 ATP when it's all said and done. And the second factory is called the Krebs cycle, or the citric acid cycle, same thing. And the main takeaway from that as well is that it makes 2 ATP. That's what you yield. And then the third and final factory is called the electron transport chain. And that makes 34 ATP. So 34 of the 38 ATP come from the electron transport chain. And so as you can see, common sense would put any person's focus right on the electron transport chain.
Yes.
This is what kills me when people start talking about cell respiration. They're all talking about Krebs cycle. I don't really care about the Krebs cycle. I care about the electron transport chain. And what's interesting, I've done a lot of research with a lot of doctors, and doctors doing autistic cells and all these other cells, and they're saying the common denominator they're finding breakdown in the electron transport chain is something called cytochrome C oxidase. Our complex 4, same thing. And cytochrome C oxidase is dependent on bioavailable copper.
And so we have that available.
By simply providing the missing piece, the copper, all of a sudden the most important part of the production, the 34 to 38, that kicks back in. Now here's what's real important to think about that as well. When it's
touchdown,
whether it's copper or oxygen, it's making lactic acid. So by simply giving the mitochondria back what it needs, it switches from a lactic acid production back to an ATP production. So, it's double beneficial. It's not just the ATP, but it's also, just like you guys were speaking about, it's the diminishing of lactic acid. And that's the reason we stopped the production of lactic acid, because we gave the cell what it needs, helping the body help itself.
When you say giving the cell what it needs, let's go back to the rub. A lot of people ask the question, well, how does the copper work in the rub? How does that get into my body? It's not the same as taking a capsule. How does that work?
So now you're going down a whole different world that I can't really go too deep into, because I can't make a claim that it's getting into your body. So I'm just
yeah, cut that short.
Tap dance a little bit here, but I'll just say at the end of the day, the dance is that it's helping your skin, and it's helping the product with the antibacterial
Which is the largest organ on your body.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're kind of like green lighted for internal, so it's difficult to talk about transdermal applications. That's where you're heading with that conversation. And transdermal is something that requires a prescription, so we don't want to make that happen. We want to stay nutraceuticals.
Are we okay as a transport system with the copper?
As a transport system?
No, CBD.
Internal, absolutely. But just, when you start talking creams, just be careful what you say. You know, it's just better just to not start a fight that we don't need to fight. So I don't make any claims around the copper getting in the body or whatever like that. Just know they work together. Just, you know. Yeah, just try to avoid that.
Topically, they work together beautiful.
That's right. Put on the music.
That was synergy right there. That was synergy, bro.
So you know, we're working on that, and one day we will be a pharmaceutical, and then you'll be able to use a transdermal application where we can talk about those type of things. If it's doing it right now, there's nothing really to talk about other than it's great, it's working.
You want to talk about?
Let me say this real quick, folks. Tune in right now, Charlie Barker, and I got to thank Charlie for not letting the cat out the bag in that situation right now. When things are on the drawing board, they cannot be unleashed the way they are unleashed. It's just a perfect timing for those that are out there that get this opportunity to be a part of what's something going on that's so special. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, layman's terms are simple too, because a lot of people don't understand your cycles. So basically what we're trying to say to you guys is you're deficient in proper copper. And that if you take the proper copper in your body, that you're going to complete your cycle in your body that's going to help your immune system increase. It's going to help your energy increase. And it's very valuable for your body. It's not a toxin. It's something that's supposed to be valuable to help your body. It's bioavailable, so it's water soluble. So you have to remember these when we're talking about this deal. And I hope that's layman's terms enough, because it's simply beautiful. Our products have gone through the roof with the copper and the CBD, our #1 seller. And we're helping a lot of athletes, veterans, old folks, chiropractors, like you said, massage therapists. I mean, it's just been a lot better. So sorry about that, Joe. But that's basically what it does. We're all deficient because, again, we don't have enough animal fertilization going around into our soils. So the soils don't absorb into the roots properly to carry the minerals through like they're supposed to give us better vegetables. So in other words, we're hurting ourselves.
Yeah. Deficient soils lead to deficient bodies.
Yes.
So that just means about everybody walking this planet is dealing with something.
Of course.
That's right. And you know, copper is the only mineral that comes in a 1,2 oxidative state. Nothing else comes in a 1,2 oxidative state. All the other minerals. So copper is very unique, and I believe it's the most misunderstood. And basically, mankind had a 50-50 chance when we came to supplementing copper. We had a 50-50 chance. It was either copper 2 or it was copper 1. And we got it wrong. It was just that simple. And when you apply common sense and you just kind of look at what happens in the cycle of life, as soon as you kick in common sense, it becomes really obvious.
Yeah, it's doing wrong for you, and that's why it's called what is it? Sulfite?
Sulfite.
Is it sulfite? The copper sulfite?
Yeah, copper sulfate. There's all kinds of them. So all the coppers you get out there, I don't care. You could be a copper glycine or copper whatever.
What about the chelated copper? Chelated copper.
Right. And the main thing is it's copper 2, or it's called cupric. That's and we're cupric or copper 1. That's how you find it in plants. And you know, when you eat food and you chew up the plant, or it's called into your stomach. It doesn't work in your stomach because that's how you find it in things like that. And you know, when you eat food and you chew up the plant, or it's called into your stomach. It doesn't work. One of the reasons why, you know, there's acid in our stomach and it breaks down into a liquid, and then it's delivered to the cell, and it's beautiful and it does what it's supposed to. But when you eat the copper that belongs in the dirt, now what's going to happen is it's going to leak into your body, and it's not going to be able to get out of your body because it's going to treat an animal like a plant, and we're not plants, we're animals. And so animals actually are less evolved than plants. Plants have been around a lot longer.
Yeah.
That's why these plants have these reductase, these abilities to fix minerals and make them bioavailable for the animals. And just to back up a little bit on one little thing, let's just focus on an electron. And here's the disconnect that the medical world has, and the doctors and everybody else. For some reason, they think our bodies can make electrons, and this is not true. The amount of electrons was given here by our Creator. It's a finite number. An electron can only be given or taken. And what happens with mineral nutrition is the plant giveth and the body taketh. And if you try to bypass the plant, you're screwed. Simple.
And is that what's going on now?
That's exactly what's going on, yeah.
They're bypassing the plant?
That's what they're doing. With their $25 a kilo copper, our copper, we sell it for $40,000, and it costs out the $20,000 to make. So, you know, it's a very technical process to try to do what plants do. To copy Mother Nature is not easy. You know, when we make our minerals, one of our big jumps was when I first started working with all these cutting-edge scientists, and they were trying to make it for me before I figured out how to make it. I couldn't get them to put down the chemicals. I told them one simple rule. I said, if it's not found in the dirt and it's not found in the plant, don't use it in my chemistry. Don't try to make bioavailable copper with anything else but what's found in dirt and in plant. And they just wouldn't listen to me. They had to use their acetones and their solvents and their washes and their chemistry reasons for their educated. And I said, let's just stop the madness. And we brought all this equipment in-house, and I became the chemist. And I just followed that one simple rule. I only use what's found in dirt and plant. And then what I did was I started to realize we were making little crystals. And then I just manipulated my process, time, temperature ratio. But I didn't change the recipe. I only, again, used what was found in dirt and found in plant. And I just stuck to what was there.
The grassroots? You stuck to the grassroots. Think about that for a minute. That's pretty funny.
When you say stick to the grassroots, Charlie, I think from the outside in, you know, a lot of people will go, man, I'm still trying to figure this out. Let me help you out. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to one of the greatest minds. As you heard, it was a battle. It was like a battle for life existence. Who could find a way to turn copper and get it bioavailable? It was scientists after scientists since 1958 that have been trying to do this. You're listening to right now. We won't bring him on camera. We will. And when we do bring him on camera, we're not bringing him on camera. You're not going to see him. I mean, he's not the guy you're going to see. He's not the guy that wants to be seen. But as you know, as much as we want him to break it down to our lingo, it's not going to happen. The guy's a scientist. He's breaking it down as far as he can. If you can't get it, not our fault, but at the same time, Charlie is the guy. He is the guy who has set this whole thing apart. His name is Charlie Barker. He is the guy who found it. He's got the proprietary technique. Mitosynergy is his baby. Now, Charlie, when we were up there, you did something with my blood, and there were all kind of quickly things, and schiamites, and schizoids, and all kind of stuff. Tell the people, because I'm going to run that video a little bit later, what was going on and what happens that in people's blood that they don't know about. How does the copper work?
All right, so first of all, since you opened up that one, Pandora's box, I like it. I want to point out how important water is, and I just want to say how much, and I just want you to testify too while you're there. Before and after you.
Hey, Charlie, nice little jab, big guy.
He's drinking Fanta. Look, he's drinking Fanta.
That's Fanta, Charlie.
That is not water, dude. He told you got to drink half your weight. That how big? I don't know.
Hey man, that's
a lot. That's how many ounces?
That's 140 pounds I have to drink. Charlie, go ahead.
Okay, so here's the deal. So copper, when I discovered, and it was by accident, I started seeing this help a lot of people with symptoms like fatigue and discomfort and lack of focus. And these are common symptoms for people that suffer from chronic Lyme's disease. And I ran into somebody who actually ended up becoming my partner because she literally spent millions of dollars trying to help her son with this chronic bacteria systemic infection. And the copper started working on it, and nobody knew why. And so then I had to dig in there and figure it out. And what we figured out is that when it comes to something, and I'll just say bad bacteria for us. Bad bacteria, good bacteria. But what I'm speaking about is a microaerophilic bacteria pathogen, which meaning is that it needs a little bit of oxygen to live inside of a cell, and that's what spirochetes are that above your head on a balloon. You change the static charge, and now the balloon will stick to the wall. Well, bioavailable copper with the electron on it, with the proper charge, when it sees a piece of bacteria that's pathogen,
that's what we saw in the video.
Bad bacteria, it sticks right to it instantly.
It sure
and
did.
Once it sticks to the bacteria, it releases this electron, and it oxidizes on the bacteria, which makes it die. Which is very interesting because a lot of these people that have a systemic, chronic, underlying bacteria imbalance, maybe Lyme disease or,
I'm trying to wake you up.
Uh-oh.
We lost him.
Where'd Charlie go? Oh my God, he's about to drop that heat.
Well, what he's trying to tell you about right there is layman's terms. Ready, Joe? Basically,
there he is. He'll tell you himself.
Lyme disease can be
can be defeated.
Yes.
Okay? What he's saying is, I'm the break it down guy for you. Hold on, Charlie. I'm the break it down guy. Okay, so what Charlie is doing is, now, Charlie Bach is on the line, creator, Synergy, the whole Copper One, the whole bioavailable copper movement. Here's the deal. He's breaking something out because he took my blood, put some copper in it, and Jefro's blood, put some copper in it, and some crazy things happen. He's going to tell you what, but there's all kind of bacteria. I call them parasites. He said, no, Ike, not parasites. It's bacteria. But here's the deal. He just broke down something that if anybody out there know anybody that's anybody, he just said, if you got Lyme's disease, that goes for folks who got that Morgella, those crazy folks called Morgella's disease. They think they got Lyme disease, stuff crawling all out of them. Now, Charlie won't say that, but Lyme disease and all that go with that Morgella stuff. Charlie's saying something special. Through what he's seen in blood and what we've done, there's something that happens to Lyme disease. It dies.
It attaches to it, like the crystal attaches to the actual spirochete, but that's what you see on video.
It's the charge. But you have to also understand, you're talking about bacteria that hides inside
the cell.
The blood. What the problem is when a doctor or a pathologist or
they
somebody...
can't see it inside the cell.
You can't see it because it's hiding inside your blood membrane.
Until we pulled it out with the copper.
It's actually absorbable into the cell. It drives it right out instantly and it becomes visible.
Right. Yeah, it was scary. It looked like a movie, like arachnophobia. I mean, honestly, Charlie, it looked like arachnophobia. I was freaking out. I mean, when those big giant blobs popped out of the blood cell, and all of a sudden the copper comes up to him and starts attaching, it was like watching Terminator and Predator all at the same time.
But remember
that Terminator and Predator.
A Terminator.
A Terminator is what we got up in this.
But Charlie, remember when I asked you? I said, "Hey, buddy, what's that one with the long tail? What's that mean?" And you said what?
That it was a spirochete.
And it had been in my body for what?
Oh, decades. Because it was so big, you had decades of development. Yeah.
Decades.
So if you didn't have an amazing immune system, if you weren't such a strong person, you would be down, and it's waiting for you to get your heart broken, your butt kicked, hooked on the wrong drug, something. And then once your body goes into stress, it will go rapid because it's sitting in there.
Wow.
It's waiting, so you need copper right away. So since you've done that, what have you been taking every day?
Copper.
No, the proper
Copper one, right here, proper copper. Copper number one, our favorite Cooper's copper. This is the baby. This is the one.
What's the name of it again? Say the wrong name.
Say the wrong name, Charlie.
Cooper's nicotinic acid.
Cooper's nicotinic acid.
We have to always keep saying over and over and until we get bad breath.
Copper niacin.
We got to get the whole world. Even if they don't want to use our copper, that's fine. But we got to get the world to stop using the copper that's bad for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
hey, listen, I was at a wrestling tournament this weekend, and one of the kids had a vitamin sack you put in a drink, and he gave it to my son to put in there, and he read it, and it had copper in it.
I would have let him take it.
And he took it, and I said, that's not the right copper. You can't take that stuff. It's not bad. But there's so much out there that nobody even knows.
Right.
It's the wrong shit.
We got to spread the word.
It's the wrong shit. I mean,
yes, Charlie, that's what we're doing. But Charlie, how do we say the word that creates our copper? And so we're not just saying immediately out of our mouth copper, because that turns people off. What should we be saying to get people to go, what'd you say? What's that? What do you think?
I guess, you know, on the spot, I would say you have to ask somebody if it's important to them the difference between minerals that get stuck in their body and minerals that their body can use. And if that's important to them, then you might want to know what I'm talking about here. If it's not important to you, then we're wasting our time talking about it.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So should we be saying copper 1? Should we say Cooper's copper? Copper niacin. What do you like?
When we start talking about copper 1, copper niacin, that gets complicated for the man.
Yes.
I think we need to tell them that you got to get the copper either from Minosynergy, which is the only copper in the world that's the same as it is in plants, or you got to grow your own food and put the copper in the dirt. And if you're not going to grow your own food, just take the easy way and get the copper the same way as it is in the plants from Minosynergy. It's the only copper in the world that you can get it the same way as the plants.
Yep.
Then you just stick to the same as the plants. I think that's what's important because that just thrives to our common flippin' sense.
Wow.
Well, that's properly said by Mr. Proper Copper, which is Charlie Barker. How do you like that one? Mineral strong is what we're getting asked right now. Is it mineral strong? It is a mineral.
Yeah, copper is one of the most important minerals that your body will need.
Gotta have it.
Copper, iron, zinc, but copper, when you start talking about your cell, inside the cell you have all these different pieces. Those are called organelles. Almost every organelle is dependent on copper.
That's amazing.
Every organelle, Charlie?
Every organelle. You know, we're seeing a lot of stuff where people are saying, oh my gosh, my DNA is fixing itself. No, that's not true, and I don't want to get too technical again, but you know, your DNA tells all your body what to do.
Right.
And you know, it tells, and there's something called transcription. And when your DNA transcribes to your RNA, that requires copper. And so it's amazing, and again, we're just giving the body what the body needs to help itself. And our bodies, if you think about it, a long time ago used to live hundreds of years.
Yes.
And
yes.
to give our bodies what they need. And it's just that simple. Let's not freaking, you know, try to ruin us with these chemicals. Let's just give our bodies what they need to do it naturally.
Well, Joe, we got Joe Curran on right now, and he's saying market it. Well, we do market it.
It's already marketed.
But now, Joe, but I'm not saying that. I understand what you're saying by market it, but what we're doing is you know, he has his website, we have ours, we have other sites, you know, there's other places you can mess around a little bit too much, but on being the CBD guy here and you being the copper guy, what can you say in really layman's terms the benefit to have CBD and copper together today so everyone can understand? Layman's terms.
Sure. You need three things to have your body work right, have your cells work right, whether they're your skin cells or your internal cells. You need three things. You need oxygen, you need fuel, and you need electrons. And the CBD and the copper put together gives you all three of the pieces. So it covers it. It just, in the most layman terms, it's like you know, Reese's and peanut butter.
Let me ask you a question.
Put them together, it
Charlie,
tastes better.
come on, man. Let's get this story out here because nobody's heard this, and we're on this thing live. Can you please explain to people how we met? I'm not going to say one word, I swear to God, but tell please
so
just a
it's
simple.
really interesting because I already had put it out in the universe. You know, we were currently, my company was currently exploring making CBDs. We were talking about doing an internal thing and blah, 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 blah. And I ran into Jefro Kush on a shuttle bus at an airport.
A shuttle bus?
Not to feel his passion or listen to him. He basically had everybody's attention in the entire bus. He was talking to a mother, and he was just so passionate and he had so much love pouring out of his brain, his ears, down to his freaking toenails, that everybody could feel it. And so I was already on the mission of CBD, so then I knew instantly that he was the person that I was supposed to be doing this with, because that's how the universe works.
Did somebody text you at that time to talk about CBD when you were sitting there on that bus?
Yes, somebody sure did.
And what were they telling you?
About how great CBDs and coppers work together.
And then all of a sudden you meet me on the bus talking about CBD. And what was I telling that lady that had that baby and her husband? What was I telling her about? What was I talking about?
About the breastfeeding?
And what was that called? Mother's what?
Crap.
Mother's milk, man. You just had a baby. Come on, mother's milk.
Well, I was trying to think of the technical word
No, mother's milk, and I was talking about the mammary glands, remember, and how it flows for endocannabinoids to the CB1 and CB2 receptors and blah blah. You're getting me smarter, man. I love it, and thank you so much for that because you're freaking genius. So it's really helping me grasp and understand, like a lot of people that are have that wrong stigma about CBD and THC, just as well as they have a stigma about copper 1 and copper 2.
It's scary.
And so we want to make sure that we're identifying the facts, just like THC that is making you high or stoned, that is psychoactive compared to CBD that's non-psychoactive. It actually counteracts THC. Is the same as what I would say your relation to copper 1 and copper 2. One has
and it's copper with or without an electron, just like your blood.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool how your blood is red and blue.
Yeah.
Our copper is red and blue. Okay, and so like it's not.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Oxidized is blue.
Wow.
Unoxidized is red.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
It's very interesting. I want to ask you a question too, because I was live the other day, and we were messing around with the NBA. I told you about the Miami Heat, and so we were trying to come up with the M880. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, remember that I did it wrong. I put 4 grams instead of 400. It was supposed to be 410. Well, we were going to do 410.
It's supposed to be 400 milligrams.
Yeah, I put 4 grams. And I wanted to say something about that because I actually have one right here that I pulled. Where's it at?
I actually moved that one.
Right here. This is insane. So I'm going to open up one right now.
And I'm going to use it.
This is 4 grams in this. Now look at this.
That's
Wow.
10 times the amount that belongs in there on the 880. That's 10 times stronger than the 880 copper.
That's super red.
No, that should be 100. That should be 100 times. Not 10, 100 times. We're taking these and we're bringing them back in, and we got to redo it because it wouldn't. That's extraordinary. Oh my God, it still smells so good.
Do you have one already used?
No, these are all. We'll have to put this back on the back.
Copper almost.
I need to get one that's open.
Yeah,
Wow.
Here's another thing that I just like to talk about since you're when you got that.
Hold on, what would you do with this thing right here that has 4 grams in it? 4 grams. That's 4. How much do you sell your grams for right now online?
$100 a gram.
That's a
That's $400
$400.
right here, plus our 400 that costs $94.95.
That's a
right?
$500
What's
canister.
really cool about your cream though in the copper is that it doesn't turn blue. And that's a huge, gigantic deal. People don't understand the magnitude of that. That's the biggest of all of them because that means they love each other.
Oh, let's talk about that blue. Let's make it blue.
You take that copper and you put it in open air and you put it in a humidity room or you just put 1 dot of water on it, it's all going to turn blue, then it's ruined. It's the same as the copper in the dirt again, right? It needs to get fixed again. It needs to get that electron back. Now it's only oxidized.
Let me ask you this.
What's really cool about the cream is as soon as you put it with the cream, it will not turn blue.
Nice.
It won't do it. It's so stable, it's ridiculous.
So if I take these beakers right now and I put not tap water, but I put both of these in right now, we can make this happen right now to show people that the real deal is that if we put water in and I put the copper in it right now, what's going to happen, Charlie?
If you put water on that copper, I'll put it on a white piece of paper and put the water on it, it will turn blue, oxidize for your eyes. We're seeing the magic happen. It's all about, I call it is men technology. I used to do that so I could just talk to women because you say you want to learn about men technology.
Right.
10 seconds. And then I would say molecular electron nutrition.
Right.
What I'm talking about is electron nutrition. Our bodies need electrons.
Yeah.
Charlie.
And what happens? What's the definition when something oxidizes? Releasing electrons.
Yeah, it's releasing electron and it's done. It's done. It has no more energy, nothing else, nothing available for you to take from it anymore. But bypass, like biomass, like it's junk now. That's what it is. Now let me show you something right now. Everybody, this is actually a kilo of Charlie's copper niacin right here.
That's the magic.
So what do you do with this kilo for me, Charlie?
What I do with it?
Yep. You came down here and you met me where? In Scottsdale?
Yeah, and then I threw it at you and you caught it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It was beautiful. And the kids were all here and we were all excited. So how cool is that? Now what we're going to do with this copper is we're going to put this inside of some of this water and on a piece of paper.
It's easy to give that kilo to Jefro the simple level that what he's given to our country, and it's easy to give to veterans because I'm a pussy, and I'm defended. I have my home, and I have a life. did that, I respect him. And
well, thank you for that, man.
Right on.
So what I want to show right now is that I have a piece of paper right here, and I'm going to put this copper on it. Oh, that's a lot. Holy mama. Alright, well that's enough. So we'll put that on there. And what I'm going to do in front of everyone is I'm going to take this. You got that right there?
Yeah.
And if you can see what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to drop a little drop on that. And now if you can see it, can you see that at all?
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh, I think
Hey, if you got any naysay scientists out there and they want to like throw questions at you, I have you on the phone. I'm up for any question they can throw at us.
any naysays?
Well,
And even good sayers, if any questions, I know there's no technicality of that. You know, there's no limitation right now. We go all the way. We want to talk about copper.
If you want to buy the copper right now, you can go to mitosYnergy.com. Mitosynergy.com. Okay, and I need to grab something. I'm going to grab this. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to start mixing it around like you do for me. All over. You can see this right now.
Yeah, smear it out there real nice.
See how it's all
Looks like a new penny.
That's the color of life right there.
Color of life.
It's supposed to, when it's like that, our bodies will put it right into the cell. It goes straight into our cells, and it's going to get used. Now, once inside the cell, that's supposed to turn blue. Inside, not outside.
Alright,
That's
so
what's important.
you heard it right now from Charlie.
So that's
This
one.
is one of them.
That's one.
So this is it right here. Now you see the color of this piece of paper. I'm going to let it sit
Yeah. Let it
so
sit
everyone knows
right
what's
there.
going on.
Let it sit right there.
So we'll set it right here. And you can watch it while it sits here if someone can see it.
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay.
It's right there.
And what I want to do now is, okay, if I put it in a beaker with water, what's going to happen?
You put the copper in the water,
Yes, in the beaker.
probably it's going to settle to the bottom.
Oh, because it's a mineral, of course. How about
There's no oxygen. Well, it will eventually oxidize, but there's not as much oxygen. So it's all about giving the electron to the oxygen. The oxygen is a great oxidizer because it's really easy to give it an electron. I'm not trying to be too technical here, but so it will turn blue eventually in the water.
Yeah. Okay.
But if it's under the water, it won't turn blue that fast. But if you wet it and then you let it be exposed to oxygen, you need the oxygen and the water together.
Look at the color of it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, check that out, dude.
It's happening.
Charlie, it's already going blue right
That's the
now.
whole thing. When copper is in soil, it's a liquid. It turns into a liquid. And then when it goes into the
Look
plant, it turns back into a solid.
Charlie, can I say something real quick, please? I'm watching it change right in front of my face as I move the water on top of it and it oxidizes on the top. Look at this. Look.
Yeah.
The blue is on top. Now the blue goes to the top and it's floating on top right now. So, I mean, this is...
So what's happening, Charlie? As this is turning blue, explain what's happening in the body.
So what's happening is that normally happens inside your cell. And when copper oxidizes inside the cell where it's supposed to, it delivers an electron. And it does its proper biochemical reaction in there. So once oxidized inside the cell, the body knows how to get rid of it. It goes back to the liver and it comes out in your poop with your biofluid, like it's supposed to. But when you have copper that's liquid outside your cell, now it's stuck. It pulls, it pockets, it likes the liver and the brain. And that's why we got to stop these people from taking stuff that's copper too.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Got to stop it.
Okay, let me jump in, folks. I hope you caught that. That was a heavy little piece, probably went over a lot of people's head. If this stuff is not being shared across Facebook, the internet, shame on you. Right now we're breaking something that nobody has broken to you. I did it this weekend at the Tommy Chong Blazers Cup. Took you inside where nobody took you. Now Jefro, Kush, King Cola, I Griffin, Mega Man bringing it to you live with Charlie Barker, the founder, the innovator, the creator, the patent holder, friend, comrade, crazy ass driver, wonderful wife, great family, and let me tell you something. The guy has a story. He didn't do it for the money. He has a story. So tonight, what you've been, look at that. It's blue. That's what should be happening with copper in your body, not outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here too as well, at Jefro's Kush Cream, we're going to be offering the same product because we're beauty, but today we're doing mitosynergy.com. If you have any questions, let us know. We're giving this all the love we can to Charlie Barker because he deserves it.
You saw it right here. It turned blue right in front of your eyes. No trickery. You saw it.
Yep.
This is what we're doing. This is the magic.
Would you eat an apple that was all brown and gooey? Would you
No.
still want to eat that apple?
Hell no.
So why would you take a mineral that's in the same way as that brown apple? You wouldn't do it.
Well, Charlie, I must say that, I got a few buddies that, they like a few brown apples, and when it turns into that special apple cider,
They think it's something special, but
Well, you know what? There's some validity to that, and that's how you get alcohol, right?
Yeah.
When a plant ferments, it turns into alcohol.
Right.
When an animal ferments, we turn into lactic acid.
well, that's a beautiful way to express what we're doing right now. We showed you the test. We talked about it. Show them it again. Just pull it
Look,
again.
when it first started, it was a ugly brown color.
This is going to oxidize too. Now look at what
Color of a copper penny. Now look at it. Once we added the water, we want to show what happens when it oxidizes. We want to show what should be happening in the body, not outside. If you're taking copper too, or you're taking the dietary garbage that they're sending to you and putting out there to you, you are in trouble.
It's turning blue right in front of you right now on this piece of tissue I picked up. So you are in trouble if you're taking the wrong stuff. And our job right now and our mission is to tell you that you have to take the proper copper. Charlie Barker has shown me a new way and a new path. Our Team Up the Dream Up spirit, together as a team with Ike, the Big King Cola. We got a beautiful team right here. We also got the Higher Truth. We got some good things happening. We got our veterans out there that are, we got to look out for our vets. That's what we're doing this for.
Retired athletes, baby.
Retired athletes. Hey, first responders.
First responders.
Retirement people. We need to go for everybody because everybody. Hey, let me ask you a question, Charlie. What is the age limit and what's the recommended daily allowance on your copper proper copper?
So all ages need it, and the smaller you are, the less you need. Now here's where it gets really interesting on your question. Is the FDA RDA, which means Food and Drug Administration recommended daily allowance.
Right.
They recommend that we get 2 milligrams of copper a day.
Mm-hmm.
My most popular product is something called Mito Activator LDS, and that stands for low dose serving. And there's 0.01 milligrams per capsule. That's 1/20th of what they're recommending.
Right.
So we're 1/10 of a milligram, where they're saying you need 2 milligrams. You see, the deal is when you have something that's actually bioavailable,
And it's working.
you don't need that much of it.
Right.
You just need a little tiny pinch. I mean, it's like crazy. Yeah. So it's not about. To me, it's not about selling more of the copper to make more of the money. It's about giving the body what it needs in the right amount.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not worried about you taking too much of it. But if you take too much of it, you're just going to poop it out. It's a waste.
So again, let's hit that point, because one of the things that we found was that toxicity.
No,
everybody's talking about it with copper.
Copperitis, Charlie.
Everybody's scared when they hear copper.
Well, let me put this in your. Visualize this. So you just saw that copper that was red and it turned blue, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm here to tell you that copper is not going to turn blue in your colon. It's going to poop out your poop. And if you have enough copper in your body, you don't have to worry about using that. Copper is going to get wasted. It's just going to keep going out your colon until you poop it out. It's your body's not going to let it.
Because it's a mineral.
But if you take the copper that doesn't belong in your body, it's going to leak through your colon. It's called passive transport of digestive membrane, meaning it just leaks through. Okay? Because it's a liquid. You don't want a liquid. You don't want to eat liquid copper. No. All these other coppers, these ionized coppers,
Right.
liquid copper,
Colloidal copper.
Yeah, stay away because it's going to leak in your body. You need to let your body decide if it needs copper. Now, I'm not here to tell you we all need copper. We're all starving for it. It's
No,
a
it's true.
pandemic. We need copper.
We do.
But I'm not worried about someone taking 10 jars of it in one day because I know they're just going to poop it out. Because I know when you give the body what it's supposed to use, the way it's supposed to use it, your body doesn't hang on to it.
No, it lets it go.
Knows what to do with it.
Of course.
It's so simple.
It is very simple.
We're not smarter than nature. It's just that we're not smarter than nature. We have to follow nature.
Charlie, here's what we're going to do. I want to say thank you. We want to plan a whole show and promote it all week. Get people excited. Let them come on, ask questions. Would that work for you?
Sure, absolutely.
Does this help the fight of cholesterol, high blood pressure, or other common bullshit?
Of course it does.
Well, ATP always helps everything, you know. So yeah, ATP, of course. So it's no different than if you have a lot of bills and all of a sudden you get a bunch of money. Heck yeah, it makes life easy. And the same thing is our body, because ATP is the money of our body.
Bingo. Charlie, we love you, baby.
All right, we love you back. Take it easy.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later, and thank you for your time.
All right.
Charlie Barker right there, guys.
So,
sorry about that.
That's all right. That's the end of the show.
Yep.
Look, folks.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it? We got a chance to meet with Charlie again twice. We got a chance to talk about copper. We got a chance to show what?
The realness of what's happening out here.
This is the reality of what you're getting when you're seeing like in the reality of an electron transport. It's actually transporting from you saw science right within its face, from turning from this orange color to a blue color right in front. And then you notice that it's smooth. Everything's really smooth. That means that it's water soluble.
And if you remember, don't forget, the body cannot create what? Another what?
Oh, electron. It can't.
So if it can't create another electron, and this is creating the electron,
we're here to tell you that this is what's happening with science that we're bringing to you. And I want to tell you something about Charlie Barker, by the way, if you don't know about his bio. He's a high school graduate. High school graduate. That man is the... You can go to Harvard. No. You can go to Yale. No Stanford. You can go to Stanford. No. Did you say Pensacola? Or is there any other college that's supposed to be really good? Penn State? You didn't go to Michigan State. He didn't go to Wolverines.
No, he definitely didn't go there.
God.
Thank God.
Well, hey guys, listen up, man. We're going to show you guys that tonight our episode was supposed to show you guys as our superstar guest that we have right now. We got the King Cola, Big Ike Griffin III. He's out trying to help everybody out. We got some really good things happening with everybody right now that's going on with the athletics departments that are all out there and all sorts. I mean, we can go global, and we need to get these people the knowledge and education they need to bring family together, bring love together, bring those negatives to a positive. I'm going to end that on my note for you guys to know that we really do care. We're here to answer questions. If you have anything, please let us know. If it needs to be in layman's terms, thank you, Joe. We will get it in layman's terms. What do you think?
Yeah, in layman's terms is good. I think the easy thing is to continue the education. Joe, thanks for hanging, doing what you do. Spread the word, man. We've got something special. No one else has it.
Exclusive.
The world has been lying to us since when? 19...
Well, forever since they thought that Copper 2 is good, but it's not. So Copper 2 is bullshit. Do not use any Copper 2 products, anything that has copper in it. If it's not bioavailable copper, then you are putting the wrong copper in your body. We were the first people in the world, the second. Charlie's been telling it.
Charlie's first.
And now I've been saying it. Now we got Big Ike right here, King Cola saying it. We're telling you right now. Stop taking copper shit, man.
Stop.
All you're doing is you're hurting yourself, and you heard what he says. It's a liquid copper that's going in your body and it's secreting through. So you're having colon issues for that reason. We're here to tell you that if you take bioavailable copper that we are offering to the only exclusive through our CBD creams and our capsules that we're coming up with right now.
In the world.
Exclusive, guys.
And don't forget, I didn't interrupt you, Jefro, but you heard it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to cure Lyme disease, but you heard the man. What it's going to do.
We can't talk about. We can tell you about the blood and the red blood cells and the spider.
And show it to you.
Come out. It's on. Look on our website.
Unreal.
You go check this stuff out, and you'll see what we're talking about. Why we're being real about this. I've been up there. I have brought so many people up for the graces that He's given us for Charlie Barker to let us.
I'm having a hard time sleep. I can't sleep at night. I got so much energy about this, man.
It's amazing, and I take this every day, twice, once in the morning.
I'm on it.
This is the Mito Activator. We sell this right now for $79. We've been selling. We just started because we want to start helping people get a better opportunity to have copper in their body that they need to have. So this is exclusive. We are the only Copper One, proper copper, Cooper's copper from Midas Energy. This is my buddy Charlie Barker. You heard him tonight.
You heard him.
He called twice. He talked about how good our CBDs are and why, and how many.
The best.
He's used so many different CBDs to try to work with this, and he's never seen it turn. Look at this. Let's show it one more time.
Not blue. Not blue.
It's not blue, guys. This is insane copper right here. This isn't one we're selling yet, but this is a super duper.
Now we do have our copper with the CBD, Copper One, proper copper.
Yep.
There is no ifs and buts. It is available. It's ready to be used. AZ Greg, what's happening? I got something for AZ Greg. He got in a car accident. Got banged up real bad. Chiropractor putting him through the bullshit. So yeah, he got him running through the
talk to us now?
Yeah, he needs some good stuff.
Him and Debbie, I don't know. They
No.
love us? They love us?
No.
Do they love us?
That's not who we are.
No, we love.
That's not who we are.
We
love him.
We give love.
Anybody out there in pain that we can help,
we love.
man, it's all about the
We love
love.
you guys, and that's the way we are, and
That's
how
who we are.
So, as long as you understand who we are as people and what we're trying to do in our life and our goals right now,
Yep.
it's structured love, because love is right in your heart.
But you know, I read something the other day, partner, that said, on this journey, many will start out with you, but you may end up walking alone.
I don't, actually, I'm not even walking. See, I'm just being held because I'm being walked with.
Damn.
How you like that? One love.
Nanu.
Oh, Mort from Ort? Nanu. Mort
Hey man,
from Ort.
we'll see you guys
It's been
in a couple
fun.
days.
This is cool.
Once or twice a week, we want to keep you informed, let you know what's going on. Keep it locked in. The best of the best. Life, a day in the life of Jefro Kush, living the high life, King Cola. We're doing it up.
Earl Cup's coming up, guys.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. We're going to be number one, you'll see. And we're going to have fun smiling around there and giving love out. So
Next big show, why don't we do something from PAC, the players that are with cannabis for helping people. Big golf outing. We'll take care of that. We'll be there to help and wellness. Get some product out. Why don't we go live, bring it to the people?
We'll do that. That sounds like a plan. So let's make that happen. All right, man.
Enjoy.
You guys.
Grace and peace.
This has been beautiful, and I'm excited.
See you later.
Wow, that's a beautiful, beautiful people.
Game on, son.
Beautiful people.
Boom.
I like doing this because it makes me feel refreshed that we can feel the love and feel like, you know, you're really giving something that's important.
What'll happen now, it'll view up, it'll get shared.
How do I shut this off?
And then we'll get, you good?
Mm-mm.
At the bottom?